Today we reflect on Exodus 16, where the whole congregation of the Israelites found themselves in the wilderness, stuck between a place called Elim, a place of water and rest, and the mountain of Sinai, the place of God's revelation. Sometimes journeying in the wilderness can elicit feelings of fear or hopelessness and despair. Although the Israelites had recently escaped Egyptian enslavement, any feelings of celebration or gratitude which they had felt after crossing the Red Sea now seemed completely beyond reach. They are 2 months into a brand new journey and facing new hardships when it seems an old pattern reemerges. They grumble and they complain. All day and night, Moses and Aaron heard words like, "If only we had died by the hand of the Lord in Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat and ate our fill of bread. For you've brought us out here into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Maybe this will be familiar as we consider our own lives. Often when faced with hardships, doubt, and uncertainty, we quickly turn in our minds back to what seems safe and familiar, even if in reality it was painful or dehumanizing. In moments like this, acknowledging the role that the wilderness plays in our lives can be tricky but powerful. Arthur Henry Nouwen speaks of our own inner wilderness experiences when he writes, "It's as if you are living through an unusual time. You are called to move towards solitude, prayer, hiddenness, and simplicity. Eventually, it becomes clear that something in you is dying, and yet something else is being born. In the wilderness, you must remain attentive, calm, and obedient to your best intuitions." To acknowledge the wilderness is to name and to accept that we are in a season of transition. It's to name and accept that our familiar comforts have been removed so that new sources may emerge. To acknowledge the wilderness is to realize that the wilderness is not just a place of loss, but also a place of profound discovery. Like the Israelites, we're called not to fear the wilderness, but to see it as a sacred space where God meets us. Later in this chapter, the Lord speaks to Moses saying, "I'm going to rain down bread from heaven for you, and each day the people shall gather enough for that day." On that very evening, quails came and covered the camp. On the next morning, an expansive dew covered the ground, and just beneath the dew, a fine, flaky substance called manna was waiting for the Israelites to enjoy. This bread from heaven required them to trust God daily, to gather just enough for today's journey. The story concludes as the Israelites discovered the manna, and they said, "What is it?" For they did not know what this was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat." Friends, this reveals to us that sometimes in the wilderness we need others to help us recognize God's provisions when they come to us in unfamiliar forms. The wilderness does not come with roadmaps, but it does come with companions for the journey and unexpected bread for the day. As we wrap up, I have one final question. Will you allow the wilderness to be a classroom for you? For in the wilderness, God is present, providing and preparing us for what lies ahead. May you find the courage to acknowledge where you are, the wisdom to gather what God provides, and the patience to trust the journey, one day at a time.